Welcome to Redbeard Radio. I'm Brian Keith, and if you've ever seen me on stage, you know I have a red beard. Shocking. I also wear a kilt. My last name is Keith. My family's from Scotland. If you look long enough back, we even have a castle. These are all parts of my brand, things I've developed over the years. But here's the thing. They aren't necessarily mine if someone wants to take them. We've all heard stories about where someone who is legally bigger than somebody else took them out, and the smaller company couldn't really compete. And for a lot of us, we put all this energy into building a brand. And we're like, well, am I actually protected? How big of a giant am I protected against? And it's this big fuzzy spot because writing emails and sales pages is simple, but understanding how to defend yourself in court and take necessary precautions beforehand is not simple. So we have with us today Shevelle McPherson to walk us through how to defend our small businesses from attacks against our brand, and also talking about her new book, which goes into this. Shevelle, welcome to Redbeard Radio.
Thank you so much, Brian, for having me. Excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. I was doing an interview earlier today for the podcast talking all about branding. And so I was talking all about, oh, yeah, I have this for my brand and that for my brand. And then you're telling me about your book and how to protect your brand. And I thought, it would be pretty weird if someone tried to grab the Redbeard brand for a marketing company that does all the same things I do. But it's also not that defensible exactly. And I'm looking forward to, from this conversation, getting a better understanding myself of what is actually defensible and what is not defensible and not worth trying to defend, and just getting a better handle on that.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. So the first thing that I will say is it's really important for people to understand that when you are putting a brand out there into the market and you are expecting for it to be profitable and you are expecting for people to associate you with that brand because obviously you want it to be a reputable brand, the first thing you should actually consider is how do I protect this brand? Most of the times with celebrities, before they put anything out into the market, they've already filed for example, trademark protection or copyright protection before they actually put it out. Because obviously, if Beyonce put something out, or Oprah put something out, or some celebrity put something out, their concern is someone's going to try and snatch it up and use it right away to their advantage, right? Because that's what happens with celebrities. But for most entrepreneurs, we don't recognize that possible risk, and we are so excited about the things that we're creating, and we are so into our, I always say, our innovative and our creative juices, that we are eager to put things out without having any protection. And we need to change that mindset, because we need to look at our brands the same way celebrities look at their brands.
But my immediate skepticism is that costs a lot of money and I'm busy, which is to say that costs a lot of time, or at least I believe it does.
And I'm so glad you said that, because here's the situation. I'll give you an example. If I had a client who spent a lot of time and energy and money building up a brand, actual program. It became very profitable for her. She had a multi six-figure business, and then she decided to license this program. So at that point, she calls me, and this is probably a couple of years after she's already been building the brand and marketing the brand and licensing the brand. And now she decides she wants to get trademark protection. And unfortunately for her, when I went to go do my comprehensive search, it turned out that someone else was using the same exact name for almost the same exact services, and they had trademarked it, which means they already owned it, and she was unable to use it, which also meant that all of the money, the time, the energy that she'd invested in this brand for the past few years, and the resources she put in building this up to create a licensing program, I had to now tell her to cease and desist, stop using it, to start all over from scratch, and to rebrand. So my question to her, which would be my question to you and those in the audience, do you think it's more expensive to own it and protect it at the beginning, or do you think it's more expensive because the cost of trademark doesn't change whether you do it at the beginning or when you're in trouble? Or do you think it's more expensive to do it because after you've already put it out there and you can't use it, and now you have wasted money on marketing, you've wasted money on building up, wasted time building up that reputable brand, and you actually now have to start from ground zero? So which one do you think is more expensive?
I'm uncomfortable with this question, and I would like to live in a world in which lawyers only attack other people, and because I am virtuous, I never get in legal trouble. Is that an option?
Well, listen, here's the thing. Listen, I'm going to just say this to you. I will even speak this to people from a non lawyer perspective. It's from a business perspective. From a business perspective, you want to consider, do you want to spend more money later?
I don't want to spend money at all. Why is this my problem? If I do good in business and I treat my customers well, why should I have to deal with this? That's my emotional reality. I know it's not a intellectually reasonable statement, but as an emotional statement, I just want to go do marketing, man. I don't want to got to deal with all this.
Well, you know what? This is the thing that you just said. You want to treat your customers well and you want to do a great job for them. But I'm not
Yeah.
even talking about your customers. I'm talking about your competition. This isn't about your customers because your customers may be very well happy with you, whatever your brand is, because you're providing them an excellent service, right? So you want to serve your clients with excellence so that they enjoy your services, they appreciate your services, and they think that you are just great and awesome. But what I'm talking about is what if you're treating those customers so great. You're providing such an amazing, awesome service. They're bragging, they're raving, they're like raving fans of yours, which is what we all want to have when we're in business. But they're talking about Brian so much. Brian is so great. Have you seen Brian Keith and all this great work he's doing for me? Now, what if someone comes along and they decide that they want to profit off of this great reputation that Brian Keith has? And you know what? I was thinking about creating this program that Brian Keith built, but instead of me creating it, how about I just swipe all his copy, use his logos, go out there and divert customers from his website? They'll come right to mine because I'm going to set up the same type of brand. It's going to be so close. It's going to be somewhat confusing. So now all of those great Raven fans of Brian are going to become great Raven fans of mine.
I've seen this happen with a
Yes,
SaaS that I use, which I will not name it to try to avoid being put in jail for slander, but a company I use a lot that's amazing. Another guy saw, oh, that company's doing a great job, copied the
exactly.
software stack, even down to named a lot of the things inside the software the exact same name. Didn't even bother to change it. Like, oh, we're gonna call this tool the like, and they gave the tools the exact same name. You're like, the the gall to go steal someone's software and then not even change the name and then
This
say,
is,
I'm this amazing success when everyone
yeah,
who knows anything knows you just literally lifted the whole thing. And
exactly.
it's incredible. It didn't
Exactly.
happen to me. It happened to someone else, right? But and it's software. It's not a marketing company. But I look at that and I hear your story, Chevelle, and I have this sinking feeling that I may end up hiring you. Which usually I have like a bright, happy, airy feeling. But I have this sinking feeling that I'm going to say, "Oh, what's the price to make this problem go away?" And you're going to tell me I'm going to say, "Fine," like begrudgingly saying, "Fine," because I don't want this to be a problem. So, what does the problem look like for people like me who have been emotionally defeated and said, I know it's like having antivirus software on my computer or insurance on my house. I should just do it, though I don't feel like it, but whatever. What's the process look like to go from that to actually getting the trademark?
So here's the thing. This is what I first want to say to people. I want to say this, I always ask my clients, are you when people come to me, I ask them this because I don't really tell people. People say, well, when should I trademark? And this is the question that I usually ask. If you wake up tomorrow and someone is now, the same example you just gave, Brian, someone is using your name, your reputation, your brand, your products, your services, and they're diverting clients from your website or your source of entry over to theirs and they're profiting, how would you feel?
I
Now,
would feel very, very bad if someone in my space was using the name Redbeard Brian, and
exactly.
I would be I would be an unhappy panda.
Right. So then I would say if you would be upset and if you know that that will be a damaging to your business, your reputation and your finances, then trademark is something you should make a priority because at any given moment that could happen. Trust me, I get the telephone calls all the time, which is why I just wrote a book about it because I want people to understand that it's better to start protecting your brand at the beginning as opposed to having to protect it and defend it in the middle of a crisis. A crisis is a situation that is already stressful in and of itself. You don't want to complicate a stressful situation with now expenses, right? Spending money can already be stressful, but now when you have to spend it and you're under pressure and you have to pay lawyers and you have to litigate and you have to rebrand, that can, for some people, that could be so damaging, it could actually put them out of business. And so that's why I always say, I believe that all entrepreneurs that are what I call doers, not dreamers, doers, which means you are out here, you're creating, you're taking action, you're building a business, you're building a brand. If you are a doer, and you are a driven entrepreneur, a concerned business owner that's trying to live this lifestyle, have this legacy, leave something for your family, be profitable, if that is you, then you want to make sure you are owning and protecting your brand at the beginning or as soon as possible, not in the middle of a crisis.
That all makes sense. I just don't want to deal with it still. But I
And
believe
so,
you. I believe you're credible.
so here's the thing what I tell other people. So look, I wrote this book, right? And in this book, it's called Legally Bossed Up Boot Camp. I'm sorry, boot camp is the program. It's called
You're
Legally.
just excited. I'm excited too
I'm
about
so
making sure
excited.
people don't screw with me.
Right. It's called Legally Bossed Up, the Ultimate Legal Playbook, right? So you could get the book and literally go through it yourself and do it. Or if you're someone like Brian, you can just hire my firm and we can do it for you. So there is no headaches because all we will do everything that needs to be done. And then we'll just notify you throughout the process. That's the less stressful way, right?
Yes,
I
that's what I
do that.
want. I
Right.
don't
So
want
if
more
you
work. I'm busy.
Right. If you don't want more work, then you just want to outsource it, whether it's to me or to an experienced trademark attorney. That's what you want to do. You do not want to. And the other thing is, if you don't know what you're doing, trademark is not an area that you would just want to start trying to figure out on your own if you have no guidance at all.
Hmm.
I have people who come to hire me after they've tried to do it themselves and they've jacked it all up. I have a person right now who did it herself, did it all wrong, put herself in the wrong classes, which I'm not going to go on through, trademark, we have classes and there's a certain way you do things. And
Yep.
so it got kicked out. And when it got kicked out, guess what? Her competitor came in and filed the trademark correctly with a lawyer under the right name.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, 1 month after it got kicked out. So she comes to me and I says, "Oh, do you realize that your competition just filed their trademark? So they're actually first to file because when she did it herself, it got kicked out." So that's
Oh,
the other thing. It's like you're trying to save money. So she tried to save money because she tried to do it herself, but she did it wrong. Now she has a bigger expense because now someone else beat her to it. And now she's hiring me and I'm trying to help her, but it's going to cost more money because now this isn't just trademark, this is litigation. Because
yeah.
now we have to go through the process of trying to show she was first, she just messed up. That requires filing legal papers and getting getting litigation involved, and that can be expensive, and that's not what you want as an entrepreneur. Like
Yeah.
Brian, you just said, I just want to do my work, I want to market, I want to enjoy. That's what you should do. I tell entrepreneurs, you should not be worried about what's going on the legal side of your business. You should outsource it. You should not ignore it, but you should outsource it to an expert to make sure that it's done correctly. And then you can carry on and enjoy your marketing and your podcast and all the amazing things that you're doing and to continue to put your gifts out into the world.
So, folks, we're going to end this podcast early so I can go to have Chevelle tell me how much money it's going to cost me, or we could just do that live. But tell me about the timing. Let's say that I know exactly what I want to trademark. How long does it take? Because that's one of my dreads. Is it's going to take forever? And it's going to distract me forever. Is how I feel about this whole process. Is that accurate?
Okay, so let me just tell you this. The trademark process is a long process. The time should not deter you. I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to give you a breakdown of the process. When you file a trademark, initially what we do is we will do a comprehensive search. So when you first come to us and you give us your, I call it your mark, which would be your name, your logo, whatever it is that you want trademark, we do a comprehensive search. That usually takes about 7 days for us to get that back. And then we'll do a legal opinion letter letting you know what else came up in the search so you can have an indication whether or not it's probable that your application will actually be accepted so that you can get your trademark. Because not me, not any attorney, not any law firm, no one on earth can guarantee you that your application is going to get approved. However, that's why we do the comprehensive search, because I can give you a probability. I can say, okay, it looks like 99.999% you're good to
Mhm.
go, right?
Yeah.
So then once that happens, then we send you a copy of the report. If we don't see anything major, you just let us know if you're okay with the report and what we found, and then we move forward. And then we actually will file the application. Once we file the application, I usually tell people the trademark process used to take 4 to 6 months. Since COVID, we have a lot more online entrepreneurs. The trademark office is getting a lot of more applications, which is all the more reason that you want to get yours in there,
Mm,
right? Because more
yeah.
people are filing. And right now, I'm seeing this process 6 to 12 months, give or take
Oof.
a few, right? However, the important thing though is once you file, you can still go on and live your life and not worry because you have precedent in terms of that registration date.
Hmm.
So the time that the date of your application is going to give you priority over anyone else who tries to come after you. Most likely their
Gotcha.
application is not going to go through because yours is already filed, right? So
Okay.
that's pretty much the process of starting and going through it. And then once you file the application, it'll probably take about 4 months before an actual trademark examiner, which is someone from the trademark office, to be assigned to your application to review it, make sure everything's good. If everything's good, then we go into what's called the publication process, where for about 30 days, the public is like,
Chevelle,
they're
I love
able.
you, and I really don't want to know the details.
Okay,
Which
you
sounds
asked,
horrible
so
to
I
say,
was
right? It sounds horrible to say, but the truth is, I feel my energy being drained just listening to you.
okay.
Like,
So listen, so this is what you need to know. I was only sharing because you asked the process.
I know it's my fault.
So listen, so this is what I will tell you to make it quick and simple. You need to file because the process can be 6 to 12 months. All you have to do is get started. We do the rest and we just notify you monthly of how your application is moving through the process. Does that
Where's the
make any sense?
website? Where do I click the buy now button to make this problem go away? It's funny, right? Because I know a lot about a lot of things. I'm competent at a wide variety of things, technical things, writing things, design things. And there's only a few areas where I'm like, this is just draining. It's like doing taxes. Some people get lit
I
up
know.
by doing taxes. And I'm like, no,
No.
that drains my energy. And I just want someone else to deal with it.
Right. Well, that makes sense because we shouldn't be doing all these things anyway. It's all about outsourcing and getting things done that whatever is not in your what I call your genius zone,
Yeah.
whatever, if it's not like making you the money, then you should send it out to someone else. So if it's your accounting, if it's your legal, even for some people it's the marketing. Everybody can't build a funnel, right? So
Yeah.
they should outsource that. Whatever it is that you need done that's outside of your area of expertise, you should literally outsource it.
So, Chevelle, I'm convinced. Just make this thing happen for me. What is the website I can go to start the process of having you handle my trademark issues?
Okay, so you should go to www.legallybossedup.com/book trademark.
Beautiful. And then how long does it take to get started? Is that like where I book a call with you or what?
Yeah, so when you go to that site, it's going to give you a little bit of information about trademark, and then you can book a call with me. And once you book a call, we'll get on the phone. I like to personally have a conversation before I sign someone up because we have different trademark packages. So I
Hmm.
want to see where you are. I also need to see what you need trademark. Some people have taglines, logos. Some people have one thing. Some people have five things. So that's why we need to get on a call with you just to do what's called like a brand assessment, and then we can
Hmm.
give you what your options are based on what you need. So when you go to that link, I'll repeat it again, www.legallybossedup.com/book trademark. You'll get an opportunity to get on my calendar, and then we'll do an assessment, and then we'll give you the information on which package is best, and then you can make a decision at that time.
Wonderful. Thanks for being on the show, Chevelle. The book is Legally Bossed Up. And Chevelle, where can people find you on social media?
So on social media, I am Shevelle McPherson ESQ on Facebook. That is on Facebook. On Instagram and LinkedIn, I am just Shevelle McPherson. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Those are the main platforms that I am on.
Wonderful. Chevelle, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.